Josh had always been the picture of success. A self-made businessman with a ruthless edge, he had built his empire from nothing. His company was one of the most prestigious in the world, and his name was synonymous with power and wealth. He wore his suits like armor, each tailored to perfection, a reflection of the empire he controlled. His workers admired him, though many secretly feared him, for Josh's business was built on manipulation, lies, and deceit. He had learned long ago that the truth was a luxury only the weak could afford. But Josh didn't care about honesty. He cared about winning. To him, the end justified the means. He exploited his workers, cut corners, and manipulated the stock market, all while hiding his true nature behind a facade of generosity. His closest ally, Victor, was the only person who knew the full extent of Josh's empire of lies. But even Victor, a shrewd businessman in his own right, never questioned Josh's methods, until one fateful day. It was a crisp autumn morning when the storm first started brewing. Josh was in his office, reviewing some paperwork when his phone buzzed with an urgent message from Victor. "We need to meet, it's urgent." Josh felt a knot form in his stomach. Victor had been with him from the start, helping him build this empire. The two were inseparable, partners in both business and life's ambition. If anyone knew Josh's secrets, it was Victor. They met in the back room of a quiet, upscale restaurant. Victor's face was drawn, his usual confident demeanor replaced by something darker, more grave. "Josh," he began, his voice low, "I've made a mistake. I've exposed everything, your manipulation, your lies. The market is going to crash, the press is already sniffing around, and the board is turning on us." Josh froze, his heart racing. "What do you mean you exposed everything?" Victor hesitated. "I couldn't keep going. It was wrong, Josh. The lies, the people we've hurt, it caught up to me." Victor handed him a small envelope, his hands shaking. Inside was a letter, detailing the evidence of the fraud, corruption, and deceit Josh had woven into the very foundation of his empire. As Josh read the letter, a cold wave of realization hit him. His world, the empire he had carefully crafted, was crumbling. He had built it all on sand, and the tide was pulling it away. But what shook him most was the final line of the letter: "I can't be part of this anymore. I'm going public with everything." Before Josh could respond, the door to the room swung open, and armed security rushed in. His heart pounded in his chest as they seized the letter from his hands, and the real nightmare began. Victor had betrayed him, the one person he thought he could trust. As the police arrived to take him away, Josh saw the look of disgust on Victor's face. The betrayal stung more than anything else. Victor had been his friend, his confidant, and now, his downfall. The following weeks were a blur of scandals, legal battles, and the media tearing apart every part of Josh's life. His company collapsed overnight, and his wealth evaporated in an instant. Once admiring employees now spoke out, revealing their stories of exploitation. His name, once a symbol of success, became a byword for deceit and greed. Even his family turned their backs on him. His wife, once dazzled by his power, couldn't bear the weight of the lies any longer. She left, taking their children with her. Josh found himself alone, standing in the ruins of what he had once believed was unshakable. He had always thought that lying, deceiving, and bending the rules were what it took to succeed. But in his downfall, he saw how fragile those foundations were. The truth, as painful as it was the only thing that could have withstood the storm. One evening, as Josh walked through the empty halls of his former office, he saw a reflection of himself in the glass of a broken window. For the first time, he didn't see a businessman. He saw a man who had lost everything. The truth, the one thing he had avoided all these years, was staring him in the face, and he realized just how hollow his success had been. He had betrayed the very values that should have guided him: honesty, integrity, trust, and in the end, it was those values that would have kept him standing. With nothing left to lose, Josh did something he never thought he would do. He went public, not with his lies, but with the truth. He confessed to the world what he had done, how he had exploited others for his own gain, and how he had lost sight of everything that truly mattered. The world didn't forgive him, but it was the first step toward rebuilding his life, slowly, piece by piece. Josh learned a harsh lesson through his downfall: building an empire on lies will eventually collapse under its own weight. In the end, the only foundation that can withstand the storms of life is the truth. Lesson: the truth, no matter how painful, is the only solid foundation that can endure the test of time. Lies may build empires, but they also tear them down.